Welcome to another fishing adventure, folks. Doing something a little different today, fishing a place I've never fished before. Let me get baited up and tell you what's going on. This is a gravel pit, old gravel pit, and water clarity is pretty decent. I was hoping to get some underwater footage here today. Not too bad. As per the usual, just using some of these kind of hook baits, spicy sriracha. This is corn, boiled feed corn. It's about 6:30 in the morning, dog days of summer, last week of July. That's all I've been doing as far as fishing goes this time of year, is just early morning for a few hours before the heat of the day. 3 kernels of feed corn on the hair. Not sure why they call it dog days of summer. My guess would be is that because it's so hot, it just makes you want to sit outside and pant like a dog and just sit there and do nothing. That'd be my guess, but who knows. Here's my bait stops, little pieces of twig. Maybe it has to do with sun dogs. That's that phenomenon where it looks like there's 2 suns in the sky. Maybe that happens more often this time of year. I don't know. Pretty interesting subject to think about while I'm getting baited up, huh? And the pack bait is just my usual stuff. Oats and sweet feed. That's 8 cups of oats, 2 cups of sweet feed. And then into that is a can of corn and a can of chili beans. Spicy chili oats pack bait to go along with that spicy feed corn. Doing spicy, double spicy. Some people ask about oats, like if oats are some magic ingredient or something, and it's not. It's just an ingredient that I like to use because it's just easily accessible for me and cheap. I fish a ton, so if I was using breadcrumbs or something like that, that'd cost a lot of money to use panko breadcrumbs as much as I fish. So that's why I use oats. They're cheap. I get them at Sam's Club in 10-pound packages. And that, believe it or not, buying them at Sam's Club in 10-pound packages is cheaper than buying them from some like restaurant supply store in 50-pound bags, and that's because of the shipping. 50-pound bag oats from a restaurant supply, I don't know what the price is. Say it's $50, but it's going to be another $40 for shipping to ship a 50-pound bag to you wherever you are. If you fish, once a week or once a month or whatever, I would just buy the tubes at the grocery store, the 40-ounce tubes. You can get 2 batches of pack bait out of that. That's what I used to do. Go back and watch some of my old videos and you'll see some oatmeal tubes make an appearance in the video. There's a link in the description to those Sam's Club oats if you want to get some for yourself. It's a pretty good deal. And they got, if you remember, they got free shipping. So, that good price plus free shipping is just a no-brainer for me. Yeah, the thing about this little lake here is I don't even know if there's any carp in this lake. Never fished here before. I was here yesterday and I didn't see any surface activity. I don't even know. I did bait this spot yesterday. I threw out a whole bunch of cattle cubes right out in front of here. I just happened to be in the neighborhood, so I thought, throw out some bait, come back here tomorrow and fish. See what happens. Alright, so that was shallow. 2-3 feet where that one hit. That's another thing about this. I have no idea the depth. There's no intel on this pond. I do know that they stock it with the usual stuff, the bass and bluegill and catfish. And this morning when I got here, there was an empty can of corn laying right there that wasn't here yesterday. So I don't know what that's about. Somebody was here fishing with corn last night. That's shallow too. 3 feet of water max. Okay. Thought it was going to be deeper. That one just went straight out in front of me here. I guess 3 feet deep is better than 13 feet deep. Thermocline is definitely a consideration this time of year. There's definitely not going to be a thermocline in 3 feet of water. So at this particular pond, I'm only allowed 2 lines. So at the 3rd line, I'm going to put just the camera, no hook. Use one of these underwater inline cameras, Link in the description if you want to get one for yourself. These things are pretty fun. I've used these quite a few times. Get some pretty cool footage. But what I've got here on this line already tied on is like a catfish rig with a flat sinker and a hook. I'm just going to remove that hook. So I've got just the sinker on the end of the line here. I'll leave that swivel on there. That doesn't hurt anything. That'll be a stopper. And then I'm going to incorporate the camera about 6 inches above the sinker. And then I'm going to pack a bunch of pack bait around that sinker. So I'm just going to cast this out and with a ball of pack bait and the camera pointed at it. And we'll see if anything comes chomping. Alright, so here's the camera setup. There's the camera as you can see in line, and down below that is a big ball of pack bait, no hook, anything. It's gonna do two things. One, it's just gonna get an idea of what's living in this lake, and also just give a good visualization in real world scenario what this pack bait breakdown is like in a real lake here. So should be interesting. Cast it out. Don't know if there's any snags here. Hopefully not. Okay, that seemed like it was a 4 or 5 feet of water, maybe less. It's hard to tell. And I can't see what's going on down there. That camera doesn't connect with my phone while it's in the water, so I'll have to. It's recording the footage right now, and then I'll reel it in a little while and review it. Of course, as soon as I step over into the bushes. Alright, something small. Oh, it's a little bitty carp. It is. It is a little miniature carp. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, miniature frisky carp. Look how tiny he is if I hold him close to me. 12-inch carp. I don't know, maybe this would be a good pond for a fly rod if this is what's in here. I don't know what size. I didn't even know if there was carp in here. So yeah, there's some carp in here. What size? I don't know. Definitely small. Hopefully big too. Haven't been seeing much action, but I've only been here about a half an hour, so we'll give it time. But at least I confirmed that they're in here. That's a big step right there. So long. Well, I wonder what's been going on by that camera. I think I'm going to reel that in next after I get this rebaited. Feed corn did not survive that fight. These teeny tiny carp, they're always the most ferocious. They're always just freaking out, just going crazy. I kind of refer to them as turbo carp because that's how they act. They're just so full of spunk. Thrash around, shake the bait off. All right, let me reel in this camera and see what's going on here. Nice thing about this inline camera, it's got those fins, so as soon as I start reeling, it just immediately zooms right up to the surface. Okay, I've got some footage here to review. Let's see here. Oh, that's a carp. That's a carp. I think with this camera, I think, oh yeah, there he is again. Yeah, that's a decent little carp, bigger than the one that I caught. I think this camera does scare the carp because of this shiny lens. I think when they swim in front of it, they see movement because of this shiny lens reflection in the lens. They see their own self in the reflection, and it spooks them. I see that quite frequently with carp, but that's okay. My main purpose of putting that in there today is just to see what's living in here in this lake, and caught one carp and saw another one on camera. There's probably more, so I'm going to put this camera back out there. Battery life on this thing is highly dependent on the water temperature. Cold water doesn't last very long. I think this water temperature is in the upper 70s, so usually I can get about an hour of recording time in tepid water like this. There's a bite. Yep. Fish on. Hasn't been that long, 15-20 minutes since that last fish. Where are you? Oh, that's a catfish. Alright, yeah, there's the predicted catfish. It's always a challenge to try to get my hook out without damaging it. Such are the tribulations of fishing with tiny hooks. Okay, back you go. Pretty skinny catfish. Point is good. Everything's good. Well, some exciting developments happening here this morning. That's good. The next exciting thing I'd like to see would be a larger carp. That's what I'd like to see. That's pretty fast. This fish is in my other line. Nice if I could go underneath of it. This feels like it could be something better. Now he's coming back across. Another line side by side. That's typical of a carp. I think that's probably what I have here. I see that gold bar swimming around out there. Frisky little turbo carp. Gotcha. Uh-oh. got a bite on the other line. Hurry up and get this guy unhooked so I can use my net. Little bitty guy, another one, just like the first one. Yeah, definitely got a fish on the other one. Go on. See ya. Alright, let's see what's on here. Yep, here I am again. They're biting. Well, this is kind of fun, catching a bunch of little fish. I know everybody likes catching big fish, so do I, but sometimes catching is catching, you know? I do need that net, though. Oh, that's another catfish. Okay. Seeing a trend here. That was a little bit bigger. That'd be a good frying pan fish. I think I might actually keep this fish. At least put him on the stringer for now, because this is nice clean water. It's pretty rare around here to have water that looks this good. I've pretty much stopped eating local fish, especially fish out of the river. But this sand pit's pretty clean. This fish is pretty healthy looking. Yeah, yesterday I caught a nice eater-sized catfish at a different lake. And that catfish was covered in white blotches, had some kind of what looked like bacterial disease or something. That thing was nasty. I didn't even want to touch it to unhook it. I just pulled the hook out with pliers and released it. Some kind of disease in the catfish population in that lake. But I just gave him a lip piercing there instead of going through the gills, because I'm not 100% sure I'm going to keep this fish. If this is the only one I catch that's good size like this, I might release him at the end of the session here. We'll see. Lots of times I change my mind, decide I don't feel like cleaning fish. We'll see. Toss him over there. Seems like the deeper water is where these fish are hanging out today. In that 5 and 6 foot water instead of that 3 foot water where I started in. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I just realized I am not adequately prepared to bring home any fish today anyway. I need a cooler with ice. I'm not gonna drive home with this catfish just getting hot in the back of my truck in the 90-degree heat. Need a cooler. Maybe another day I'll bring a cooler with some ice and keep a few catfish, but not today. So long. Lucky fish, huh? Yeah, taking good care of the meat when you harvest a fish is really important, that they get on ice just pretty much immediately. If you can get them straight from the water into a cooler, that's the best. Because just sitting out in the room temperature, and especially summer heat, the meat quality just degrades really fast, and it's just not as good, and you're even putting yourself at risk of getting sick. Well, okay. Yeah, fish on. Yeah. Of course, the fish just were like, hey, oh, he's releasing us? All right. I'll play. I'll bite. Another little gold bar. Boing. Yeah, another little gold bar keeping me entertained. Another little 12-inch fish. Maybe I'll come out here with some lighter gear sometime. If this is what's the majority of the population in here. Maybe I'll come out here with some 6-pound line and my light, fishing gear, my little trout fishing gear, and catch some of these on some lighter stuff and have a little bit more of a fight. But still fun nonetheless, keep me entertained. See ya, Turbo. Nice. Just casted this out. Noticing a pattern here. Ooh. Yeah, see? Turbo. Oh my goodness. Acrobat. Get back in here. Are you kidding me? I don't know how many this has been, 4 or 5, I don't remember, but on this next cast, I think I'm going to just bomb it out there, a lot farther out in the middle of the pond, and see what happens, because these fish are fun, but I am ready for something a little different. So long. I was just walking over to reel this in to rebait. Well, that's a nice coincidence. Gotcha. Yeah, mystery solved. There are carp in this lake. One day fishing isn't enough time to make a determination of whether or not there's any trophy size fish in here. There might be. They might just hang out over on the other side of the lake. I don't know. Need some more time here, and I will do that. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. See you on the next one.